So right now we have 2.7 million ounces of M&I resource, including 1.6 million ounces of 2P reserve. If gold price keep going up, so we will have more.
Hello there, my friends. Chris Marcus here with you for Arcadia Economics. And today, fortunate to have another gold company to introduce you to, which is China Gold International. Fortunate to be joined by the CEO, Jerry Shi. And Jerry, it's a pleasure to have you on here. Happy New Year. And how are you doing today, my friend?
Hi, Chris. Happy New Year to you too. Thank you very much. I'm very good. Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on here. It's been nice to learn more about the company, and perhaps you could pass along for folks today, give them an overview of some of the projects that you guys are working on and what you're digging up, because especially with everything happening in the world, I know there is growing interest for good gold projects, which it seems like you have there, and maybe you could tell us more about.
Yes, well, thank you. Actually, this company, China Gold International, owns two operational assets. Both of the mines are located in China right now. One is the purely gold mine in Inner Mongolia, which is the one province of China. And another mine named the Jama, with the polymetallic, mainly copper, and the byproduct is gold, silver, moly, and lead and zinc. The gold mine is from this year, there's 6 years to go, and plus 1 to 2 years washing out the rest of the gold in the heap. And the copper mine is quite big. From this year, it still have 30 years to go. And the gold mine, this annual production is on the 160,000 ounces per year, will be lasting next 6 years. And plus 1 to 2 years washing out. And then the Jama mine, the copper price, the copper production right now is ramping up after expansion, ramping up to the design level. Design level is the range. The lowest end was the 176 million pounds. This year we're looking at 140 to 140 to 50 million pounds at level. Gradually, year by year, approach to that design level. So that's the both mines.
Right, and you mentioned you're already in production, but you're ramping up, which certainly, if we are on the verge of a rising bullion environment, which a lot to suggest could be in our near future, can you just talk a little bit about that, of how that's shaping out and what kind of production you'd be looking at going forward?
Yeah, for the first of all, for the gold mine, because really depends on the gold price. We can see that the gold price right now is very good, very strong, good trend. And if nothing really happened, if the gold price is sitting on this level, we just keep the stable operation, keep that 160,000 annual production level for the next the 6 years, 160 and above, 160, 170, that level. But if a gold price keep going up, so that give us more opportunity, because some like resources still in the depths. So right now we have 2.7 million ounces of M&I resource, including 1.6 million ounces of 2P reserve. If gold price keep going up, so we will have more. It's about 70, if you go metric, 70 tons to 100 tons below. So really rely on the gold price. For the another one, the Jama mine, that one is the more complicated. Like I said, we right now they're ramping up to the 176 million pounds. This year we look at 140. So these 2 years, from this year to next year, we need to spend some time to solve some challenges, because you can see that the Jama mine is right after the expansion. The expansion means from phase 1 of 6,000 tons per day, jump to 50,000 tons per day. It's a big jump. So we need some time to make the clean, right? To solve some problems. We need 1 to 2 years and to ramping up to the design level. So that one is we look at the 176 million pound level in next 2 years.
Yeah, it sounds like a good position to be in, especially at this particular time. And I'm curious, is there a particular type of investment profile or investor that you would say this is the type of project that they may want to look at and consider further?
Yeah, actually, this company is really suitable for the long term, and the investors with the really good patience to see that. The patience means 1 to 2 years. You can see that we have very solid the asset, solid resources, and a solid operation team with our the parent company, the China Gold Group, the very, very strong support within China and deal with all kind of from the matters from operational, the operation itself, and all the way to the social responsibility, the local government, to lower community, all kinds of that thing. With their support, we can make it happen. So that's better and better. But what I mean, the patient, which means 1 to 2 years. Very good.
And Jerry, you mentioned before that you had a decline in the stock price, a lot of which could be attributed to some of the tax loss, or also there was a rebalancing effect. So of course, I'm always on the lookout anytime something sells off for a reason that's not really due to specific business reasons. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, basically it is because like I said, this the 2 mines is the after expansion. We just during the ramping up that period, the stock price was not like a fluctuate pretty big, but it was the stable, not very high, but not very low. And all the way until last year, I mean, the past year, like 2019, the second half of September, because some of our institutional investors, they just do their rebalancing, so they reduce their shareholdings, and that triggers another the institutionals following to reduce their holding position as well. So you notice we are dual listing the company. North American side, the investor here is more familiar with the mining industry. But another side, the Hong Kong side, the people is not really good at the mining. So they just following. They see that some institutional the investors, they reduce their holdings, so they just follow. They make the triggers more. So they're a little bit panic. After 2 months, the effort we keep enhance our communication with the market, with the fund managers, especially from the North American side. You can see that the holdings level is coming back right now. You can see that very clearly. Our stock price goes coming back as well. So once again, we this company that's really suitable for the long term. The investors with the patience, because we have very solid, fundamentally very solid resource and the team here.
Yeah, and certainly in the gold and silver space, having patience really essential, whether it's in the bullion or in the equities. But good to hear that for those that are able to take that perspective could be a good fit. One thing, obviously, people always helpful to hear about. What are any potential risks that you're facing, things that could go wrong, and perhaps how you've addressed those and addressing them from a management perspective?
Yeah. Talking about the risk, I would split that into 2 kind of risks. One is from external, one is from internal risk. From an external, I would say the metal price would be the biggest challenge. We can see that gold price is pretty strong, and we can see that the trend is really good. Copper price is not that strong, but it's okay level. But we still believe in that the rigid demand is still there. So we are very confident in that. But we cannot control the market. That's could be external risk. from the commodity, the metal price. Internally, the operation risk, because for example, for the Jama mine, it's a really big mine, very complicated geology, consists of like 3 different type of deposit. So, and plus the 6 metals combined together, some zones. That 6 metal is the copper, gold, silver, moly, lead and zinc. Lead and zinc is a really small portion, but some zone is the mixed up with copper. When the mining have to passing through those zones, that will cause some like a negative impact to the recovery rate, or some like purely like the copper zone, they could be the lower grade. So that's the internal risk we can see. But like I said, we have very good operation team that is already planned. We have some method to mitigate that risk.
Yeah, and Jerry, you were also telling me that you guys were able to have some success on reducing cost as well.
Oh yeah, oh yes. So for example, you can see that if you notice our news release last year, 2009, like August, I think that's we give the update for the CSH gold mine. What happened to the next 6 years? And you can see that good example is the stripping ratio. 2020 is the highest stripping ratio. It's because we just finished that. We changing the pit wall angle from a 42 degrees to some like a 38 degree. That caused the higher the stripping ratio will cause the higher cost for this year. But right after this year, since the 2021, you can see that they significantly dropped for that the stripping ratio, because the stripping ratio and the grade of the ore is the 2 key factor to that the cost. So that's back to my the comments that we're studying is what kind of the investors we are attracted to appeal to is the long term 1 to 2 years. You can see that the next year could be very, very good performance potentially.
Jerry, obviously one of the things investors are often interested in is the share structure. So I was wondering if you could comment on that.
Yeah. The total outstanding shares of this company is the 396 million shares. Among that, the largest shareholder is our parent company, China Gold Group, owned 39.3%. The rest of the shares, they just common shares. That's sitting on the TSX and Hong Kong Stock Exchange. The shares on the 2 exchanges are fungible. So the investors can just make their float between these 2 exchanges at any time. So that's the shares. Pretty simple structure. Institutional investors is around like 8 to 9% right now, but they keep increasing.
Okay, and Jerry, perhaps in closing, just can you let folks know how they could find you if they'd like to get more information or contact you to find out more about the company?
Yeah, we love to answer all the questions. We're pretty like transparent, is open to answer all the questions to anyone, to any investor interested in us. You can visit our the website www.chinagoldintl.com, which means chinagoldinternational.com, and you can call us. There's 604. That's Canadian number. The 604-609-0598 to leave a message, or you send the email info@chinagoldintl.com to ask any questions. We just fully open and transparent to answer your question. Thank you.
Well, Jerry, I appreciate that. I appreciate you joining me on the show, sharing what you've done. It sounds like you guys have some good projects going on there. So for folks who would like to find out more, we'll have all that info below. And I'll look forward to catching up with you again soon, my friend.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much.